But I think the biggest pro for me, at least, was the convenience because before I was doing all of the negotiations, all of the outreach, all of the sourcing, and then having to do that across 5 different countries as well. It's really hard to manage in one inbox. So that was almost impossible, which is the reason why we were kind of sourcing for another AI tool or some sort of a platform that could help us with that. So that was a very, very big help. And then obviously, like you being able to like play around with the platform itself was super easy to use. Exactly. So the language barrier was a very big issue. I found that when I would reach out in English to, let's say, I think Germany and Italy, we had this problem with mainly. I would reach out to like a German creator in English and would get no response. I think I calculated the response rate as like 40% when it was in English, and then it bumped up to like 60 or 70 when I translated that email with ChatGPT and then sent it. But then I had to keep up with that. So all of my replies, I would also have
Yeah.
to copy paste, ChatGPT, translate, send it back to them. So it was quite the process to like communicate with them, negotiate. It's also difficult because each country creators act a little bit different. So some are very particular about Spark ads being paid for at 20%, or some are very specific about paying 50% before the video is actually posted. So it really wasn't like a one size fits all, which made it pretty difficult. And then you had the issue of the inbox of my inbox was constantly flooded. I tried to like organize it with different tabs per country, but then I would still lose them, and then I would forget to like check a tab, and it was a mess, honestly. Um, but we needed all of the countries. Like we were testing new markets constantly, so it was very helpful just to have that all in one place and not in my inbox, especially. Honestly, the search is the most time consuming, but the main thing was just the sourcing and the negotiating, for different reasons. I think the sourcing was really difficult because of the timing of it and how long it would take to search and scroll through. I would kind of dedicate like 2 hours each afternoon just to this. And obviously those 2 hours could have gone to something a lot more productive than scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah.
The negotiating part was difficult, just obviously like I was saying, the language barrier was super difficult, but just keeping up. I find all of these creators, and then my inbox is now flooded because they're all replying to me at different times. So that was difficult to keep up and keep tabs on who am I in the negotiations phase with, who is filming right now. But obviously, it could get messy at times. I was saying, I don't know how you were turning them around so quickly. So I was really impressed how Monday a brief would go out and by like the weekend the videos would be posted. So I was originally managing that myself, which it was doable, but obviously it took so much time. But the biggest thing for us was just speed and delivery and being able to say on Monday, okay, here's the brief, here's the scope of creators that we want to work with, here's the region even, or like the country that we're trying to go to this week. By Friday we would love to see drafts, and by the next week we would love to see the videos posted, and any sooner of course is better.
Yeah.
And honestly it worked really well, like the turnaround time, because when I was doing it I could never like even follow up. I would get on calls with them, I would do everything that I could to kind of like, not to put the pressure on them, but kind of laying it out like, here's what we really need. The pressure is on this time of year. We really need this to be quickly turned around, and they would still take like 2 weeks.